Hi, my name is Dennis. I'm a member of the Junior Achievement Club in our school, Robert College. And this is ShieldMesh. ShieldMesh is a civilian-first emergency communication device supported by a mobile app for setup and network management. Our idea is not to build another expensive specialist tool. Our idea is to create a product that ordinary people can use under stress, at home, at school, or in a small business without technical training. That is why our concept is built around simplicity, affordability, and resilience. The problem we are solving is not only disaster damage, it is communication collapse after the disaster. In earthquakes and similar emergencies, power, internet, and cellular infrastructure can fail at the same time. Phones may still exist physically, but communication becomes unreliable or completely unavailable. Families cannot send their location. People who need help cannot signal effectively. Rescue coordination slows down. So the real cost is not just inconvenience, it is loss of time. And in disaster response, lost time can cost lives. This is the right time for ShieldMesh for 3 reasons. First, the need is urgent, especially in disaster-prone regions like Turkey. Second, awareness has increased. Households, schools, and institutions now understand that centralized communication systems can fail exactly when they are needed the most. Third, the technology has matured. With low-cost hardware like ESP32 and local mesh communication using ESP now, a device that once required expensive infrastructure can now be built at a mass market price. Here are some of the red ocean options that are available out there and why they fail in disasters. When we look at today's market, we see existing options, but none of them solve this problem well for ordinary households. Smartphones are familiar, but they depend on towers and internet. Satellite messengers are reliable, but too expensive for widespread household adoption. Emergency radios exist, but they are often technical, bulky, and not commonly owned by civilians. So the red ocean is full of partial solutions competing on traditional factors, while the core need, simple, affordable, disaster communication for civilians remains undeserved. This is where our blue ocean thinking begins. On the strategy canvas, ShieldMesh is not trying to beat competitors only on their existing terms. We create a different value curve by combining factors that are usually separated: low price, ease of use, and infrastructure independence. This matters because for emergency communication, adoption is everything. A technically impressive device that very few people can own has limited public impact. ShieldMesh is designed to be adopted at scale, and in a mesh network, scale directly increases usefulness. So what exactly is ShieldMesh? ShieldMesh is a compact device with an LCD screen and 3 physical controls only: up, down, and SOS. The design principle is intentional. Under stress, people do not need a complicated interface. They need something they can understand in seconds. Up and down let the user scroll through the options, and the third button sends an immediate prioritized emergency signal through the ShieldMesh network. Technically, the device uses an ESP32 microcontroller and ESP-NAV mesh communication protocol. That means nearby ShieldMesh devices communicate directly and can relay short messages and emergency data across multiple nodes. Even without internet or cellular service, nearby ShieldMesh devices constantly talk to each other. This way, when enough devices are connected to each other, messages over long distances, we are talking about kilometers here, can be sent through the network in seconds. Our everyday mobile devices are equipped with a similar hardware. Only difference is the range they can cover. While our devices fail at connecting through Wi-Fi longer than 50 meters, ShieldMesh increases this range up to 500 meters on its own. But the fact that our mobile devices have these modules inside them enables us to add them to the ShieldMesh network if a device is nearby, and this way, even those who don't carry a ShieldMesh device can communicate through their phones. The hardware is usable in a crisis, while the app handles setup tasks such as pairing devices, configuring node settings, and managing network behavior. This makes first-time setup easier for families, and it also supports bulk deployment for schools, NGOs, and municipalities. So ShieldMesh combines 2 strengths: ultra-simple emergency use on the device and scalable configuration and administration through the app. When civilians want to communicate with the rescue team, a mobile station can be deployed near large clusters of ShieldMesh devices to capture help signals and designate help where needed. Our ERRC grid shows how ShieldMesh creates value innovation, not just a better version of an existing product. We eliminate dependence on internet, cellular towers, and recurring subscription assumptions. We reduce complexity and technical barriers by designing around a 3-button interface, which is very easy and simple to use. We raise reliability, accessibility, and cost-effectiveness for ordinary users. And we create a community-based emergency mesh network where every new device strengthens the communication reach for others. This is the blue ocean core of ShieldMesh: differentiation and low cost at the same time. Our growth strategy also follows the 3 tiers of non-customers. Tier 1 is households in disaster-prone regions, people who want protection but currently do not buy complex or expensive emergency communication tools. Tier 2 includes schools, clinics, and small businesses that usually have weak backup communication systems. Tier 3 includes municipalities, NGOs, and emergency agencies that can deploy ShieldMesh at community scale. This is not a niche, it is a broad adoption pathway, and each new tier increases network value. Our market logic is built around one key decision: low price. By targeting only $10 per device, ShieldMesh becomes much closer to a household safety purchase than a specialist survival device. That price point changes who can buy it and how many units a family can buy, and whether institutions can deploy it at scale. Affordability is not just a commercial advantage for us. It is part of the product's functional value because wider adoption makes the mesh network stronger. We already have a prototype and a working product direction: physical device, user interface concept, and mobile app support layer. The technology stack is practical and available now, which lowers deployment risk. Our next steps are validation focused: multi-node field tests, message reliability across hops, range testing, and deployment scenarios in real-life environments. So ShieldMesh is not only a strong idea conceptually, it is also technically feasible and ready for disciplined iteration. So it's a ready product that only waits for you. ShieldMesh is our blue ocean solution to a real problem: communication failure during emergencies. We are not trying to compete in the old market on the old terms. We are creating a new value space by making emergency communication simple enough for civilians, affordable enough for mass adoption, and resilient enough to work when infrastructure and our governments fail. If communication saves time and time saves lives, then ShieldMesh is built to protect both. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for believing in our mission.